Alright, welcome back to another video, everyone. Today I'm going to show you guys how I install the smoking kit on my 793D mining truck. Setup's very easy to do. The toughest part is finding a spot to mount everything. So I'll show you guys where I have my stuff mounted and how it all works. So this is a smoking kit that you'll need. You can buy it off of Toucan Hobbies website. You will need the smoking kit that connect directly into your receiver like you see here. And then you have the control board, the blower, and then you have the smoke unit right here. So what you'll do is you'll plug this into a spare channel on your receiver, and then you can set up like a mix control and a dedicated switch for it. I'll show you how I did mine and how it all works together. But the way this thing works is pretty simple. The blower takes the air into that little hole, and then it blows it out to this one into the smoking unit, and then that gets sent out to the long tube. I'll show you where I ran that tube on my machine. And then you have the inlet hole right there, and that's where you fill the smoke oil. So here's my setup. So for the truck, the only place I could find to mount it is inside here. Inside that little control board. I have it on the servo that controls the drive speed, that switches those two latches from 1 to 2. So what I did, I just used some two-sided tape and put it on the top of that servo. And then here, you can see that's the inlet tube right there, that you take that off and then you fill that with smoke oil. And then I have the outlet tube right here. I got a longer one, this one here, and I ran it to the blower on the other side of this plate. I'll flip it over and show it to you guys. But then after that, that long wire, I ran it to the top up here. There's a little hole when I flip it over, and then that breaks off into a splitter that I have coming out through there. And then I drilled 2 holes into the, I don't know if you can see it, into the 3D printed mufflers, and they blow the smoke out through here. That's where both tubes are, right there. So that's how that works. Pretty simple setup, easy to do. This is what the 3D printed mufflers look like from the underside. They're pretty easy to remove. Just take those 2 screws out, and then you'll be able to access the back end of it when you take them out. That's where the splitter is back there. So like you were seeing from the top side, the 2 tubes come out from there. To drill these holes, I used the 1/4 inch drill bit. The tubes are 1/8 of an inch diameter on the inside, and the outside diameter, I forget the exact measurements, but I used the 1/4 of an inch drill bit, and that gave me some clearance to put those tubes in there. So this is how the smoking unit and the other stuff looks from the underside. You can't really see the smoking unit from this side, but you can see my receiver back there, right here. I have on this side, this is where that wire runs from the unit into the receiver. So that's that brown and red and yellow wire. So I have that plugged in, and then this is the blower, and then this is the control board that I showed you guys earlier in the video. So you can see how everything runs. So the blower blows the air back up into the smoking unit back here. Then that sends it down this tube all the way back here, and then that tube runs all the way across into that hole. And then once it's in here, I send it all the way over, connect it to these splitters. I'll show you guys the size of these splitters too. They're pretty small. Got them off Amazon, and yeah, they work great. So these are the little splitters that I got off Amazon. They're 1/8 of an inch. They work with the 1/8 inch tubing. Comes in a 8-pack, like you see here. I didn't really need an 8-pack, but that's how they sell them. And yeah, it's pretty simple, straightforward. So all right, so these are the settings I have set up on my controller for the smoking unit. So first, what you want to do is, I have mine plugged into channel 11. So you go to auxiliary channel, and then I have it set to VRA, which is this one, this knob, and you can turn it to increase the smoke and turn it down to decrease the smoke. And then what I did was I set up the endpoints for that channel. So here are my endpoints. You go in here, channel 11, I have the high set to 100, and then I have the low set to 0. So you can see that when you go into monitor, go over to channel 11, you crank this all the way up, it goes up, and I only have it going in one direction. So then once that's all set up with your endpoints and your auxiliary channel, in the mix control I have mix 4, so it's set in mix 4, and in mix 4 I have the status on, and then to activate the mix SWC, which is this one, you have to pull it all the way back. It's a 3-position switch, and that'll activate the mix, and I'll show you how that works. So channel 3, which is a throttle, so the more gas I give it, the more smoke comes out of it, and then channel 11 is the smoking unit. The normal range is set to 100, and then the offset for channel 11 is 100%. So I'll show you how that works. So channel 3 is the main, and channel 11 is the secondary. They have different names, but I prefer to call them main and secondary. So if you notice, when I push up on channel 3, nothing happens to the secondary, but then as soon as I put the switch on to activate the mix control, you'll see they both move together. And I only have it set for one direction. So you'll see once I'm driving the truck, when I give it the gas, you'll see the smoke come out of it more, and then less gas, less smoke. So you guys can try setting up this mix. This truck doesn't usually come with this controller, but if you have this controller and you want to try out the smoking unit, you can give it a shot. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy that quick little demo, and I'll catch you guys in another one.